This is listen, let's go to Tommy Chong. Hey, Tommy, you went public for 9/11 Truth a few months ago, I guess 6-8 months ago now on this show. It's really great to see the fact that this movement of not trusting what Big Brother tells us is going mainstream. Tommy Chong.
Yeah, it sure is, man. You know, I watched the 9/11 was an inside job, you know, the video you did, and I was mesmerized for the hour and a half or whatever it was that it took, because it opened my eyes. I had those feelings, but I never really, it never really gelled until I saw the proof. And now just everything makes sense, because again, and look what they're doing today, attacking Wall Street. They're using Wall Street as the 9/11 to get more money out of the people.
Oh, you're absolutely on target there. There's no doubt that they are orchestrating this. I mean, this is financial terrorism to say, give us, complete immunity for all the Wall Street crimes, give us trillions, it's not 700 billion, or we'll have a depression and then the biggest plunge in the market ever when Congress says no and they blame it on Congress. That is amazing, Tommy.
Yeah, and the thing is, but it's like gambling. What they're doing, and thank God the people aren't going for it, is that these guys have got a gambling Jones, and they keep losing, and they want more money, more money. They're like a junkie that needs more heroin, and they'll never get enough, and they're trying to use that. I mean, you've seen how McCain tried to be the knight, in shining armor, rescuing everything. And
he
stuck his foot right into it when it fell on its face. And it wasn't just the Democrats that shot it down. It was the good old, the real conservative Republicans shot it down.
Absolutely. And you talk about a heroin head as an analogy or as an example. This is like a heroin head robbing your house, your stereo, and your jewelry, except it's Ben Bernanke and Mr. Treasury Secretary Paulson and Bush that are doing it.
Yeah, well, it's Bush and his cronies. It's the final insult, it's goodbye. We don't care about you, and like you said, or who was it? I think it was Michael Moore pointed out the fact that Bush is totally owned by the Saudis.
By the way, Michael Moore now is in our new film, Truth Rising, saying that he's looking at 9/11 being an inside job, and police and firemen have told him there were bombs in the building. I mean, they're going to have a big problem when Michael Moore and all these other people are starting to go public, Tommy. They're in deep trouble.
Well, I know. And the funny thing is, like, I mentioned this to Cheech, and Cheech his dad was a cop, and Cheech is straight as can be, on certain things, and Cheech was very, very defensive for these guys. They said no. He just laughed it off, like, oh no, that would never happen. And he said, and my son too, Paris, he said, oh no, you can make any film, say anything you want, with the editing and that. And so I never said anything. I said, you guys just got to watch this film. Just watch it yourself. Make up your own mind. I'm not going to be trying to sell anybody anything.
What film was that you showed him?
Yours.
Oh, really? A Terror Storm? What effect did that have on him?
Well, he hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, good. Oh, you just gave it to him.
Neither one have seen it. So that's what I'm going to make sure Cheech sees it before he comes on the show.
Well, I know that Terror Storm, that's what I first gave Ventura 2 years ago in person in San Antonio, then led him to investigate. Then his son gave him loose change, and Ventura woke up. And that's how this is working, is person by person, waking others up, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, it is. And it makes so much sense. Because, you can see act of terrorism, like in other countries, but why would they pick those particular targets?
Well, why would the Arabs want to bring the wrath into their country? But I mean, larger than that, what I ought to send you, you probably know about it, but I can send you the video clip of Keith Olbermann reporting, and Cy Hirsch of New Yorker, that Cheney just 3 months ago planned to paint up U.S. patrol boats like Iranian boats and have Navy SEALs dress up as Iranians and attack our ships in the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, that's admitted.
Well, yeah, all that hanky panky's going on, and the funny thing is, Alex, is that these guys, they're so short-sighted. It just boggles the mind how shallow you have to be to go to that length. For what purpose? There's some sort of insanity that it's really hard to comprehend.
Well, that's what a lot of our guests have been saying, is that and I've interviewed a lot of people who are in the government or been in the government, and they say that that's what this current crew was known as when they were junior 20 years ago, was as the crazies.
Yeah.
And they have nicknames like the Prince of Darkness, Richard Pearl, and that they're risk takers, like psychopathic gamblers. They want to get caught. They want to go too far.
Yeah, well, they're like those, like the Unabombers and those guys where they can't stand not being. They want the publicity. They want the like serial killers. They want the notoriety. They want to show people how clever they were. And if they're so clever they can't get caught, that defeats their purpose. And so they leave these signs around so that you will find out who were the nuts that perpetrated all this disaster stuff on
Exactly. Well, after World War II, we were a very trusting country. We began trusting our government too much. We'd just beaten the evil Nazis. And then the people became very gullible. But now the process of waking up to both parties and the whole system is pretty much complete. 9% approval rating for Congress. Bush has the lowest approval rating of any president ever. And 90+% against the bailout, no matter all the fear-mongering that the bankers engage in. It looks to me like it's like somebody, a cousin or something that cheats you one too many times, and you just say, I'm done with you.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was in prison, the first thing, I eventually learned, that everybody's has an angle, and these so-called friends would come up and be, give me things and talk nice to me and know all about my family and that, and they're all con artists, and they're all slick because everybody's got an angle, and that's what. You find out, especially in the political world, that they make it look like one thing, and then they turn around, like they do.
The problem is that after they get caught, then they're not trusted anymore, and it's scary to say that a minority of people in government now don't have an angle, and even a minority maybe of the general public. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. There's a lot of good people, but look, I've just learned what you've learned, that even common folks have angles.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just stating what they want up front. I don't understand it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I learned in jail. I mean, you find out that the people love the game. They love the game. They love this, like I was in there with a security thief, and he made millions and millions of dollars stealing, manipulating the stock market. And while he was in there, he had another company that was, guess what, running mortgages.
So while he was in prison, he was running mortgages.
He was into mortgages. That's what he was doing while he was doing time. And of course, when the mortgage thing collapsed, of course it collapsed, because that's what these guys were in for. But his thrill wasn't making the millions and millions of dollars, because he was so stoned all the time that he never enjoyed his money ever. It was the fact that he could do it.
Well, that's what my dad years ago told me. He would say, and my grandfather too, he'd say, son, there's people that would rather steal a quarter from you than make $100 with you honestly. They get a thrill out of screwing people and lying to people.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we have in power right today. That's what the Republican Party is filled with, these people that are enjoying the game. Like Karl Rove, for instance. He gets more kick out of seeing how gullible these people are. I mean. By
the way, as you know, Tommy, he's said things like that to reporters before.
Sure, I know. Huh. I know. Same as Abramoff. Remember when Abramoff was stealing from the Indians? He was bragging about it.
It's unbelievable. I want to get into the tour. I want to get into some of the things that have happened with you, a.k.a. Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
The government seizing the film, but that only made it bigger. I want to plug some of the stuff you're up to, because we really love having you on to support everything you're doing, Tommy Chong. Let's go ahead and get into that now first.
Sure.
giving us the latest developments since you were on with us a few months ago with what happened with the film you were involved with and what's happened since then with the continued persecution that you're under, where Henry Paulson can steal hundreds of billions, but you're in trouble for selling pipes.
Yeah, for shipping a bong across. No, thinking about shipping a bong, because it was a conspiracy charge.
And again, they had to hire someone to infiltrate your group to secretly mail it when you on record told them not to mail it to the city. Right. Oh my God.
That's right. No, and it's thinking. It's a thought crime. It was a thought crime of thinking of selling a paraphernalia, a bong across the state line. And there's a law. And you know who authored that law? Joseph Biden.
Unbelievable. So then a film comes out about this. They don't want the film out. Tell folks what happens.
Oh, well, what happened, the film wasn't, it was in some financial trouble. And then, because we couldn't get finishing money.